Ever wondered how different components of an ecosystem interact to create the vibrant and complex world around us? An ecosystem is a fascinating tapestry woven with the threads of life and the environment. It's a dynamic and intricate system where each element plays a crucial role. This system is predominantly made up of two main components, the biotic and the abiotic. Biotic components are the living things, like plants, animals, and microorganisms. They breathe, grow, and interact with one another in countless ways. On the other hand, abiotic components are non-living elements like sunlight, water, soil, and air. They set the stage on which the drama of life unfolds. These two components are interdependent, constantly interacting and influencing each other. The sunlight fuels the plants feed the animals enrich the soil, and the cycle continues. It's a magnificent dance of life and environment, each step crucial for the balance of the ecosystem. Understanding these components and their interactions can help us appreciate the complexity of our natural world. Firstly, we delve into the living or biotic components of an ecosystem. These are the organisms that breathe life into our world, and they are categorized into three main groups: producers, consumers, and decomposers. Let's start with the producers, the green photosynthesizing machines of our world. They form the base of the food chain, converting sunlight into energy through photosynthesis. Think of the towering trees in a forest, the lush grass covering the meadows, or the microscopic algae floating in the ocean. They all are producers, creating food not just for themselves, but for others as well. Next in line are the consumers. These are organisms that can't produce their own food and rely on eating other organisms for energy. Consumers are further divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary consumers, depending on what they eat. For instance, a rabbit that nibbles on grass is a primary consumer. A fox that preys on the rabbit is a secondary consumer, and an eagle that swoops down on the fox is a tertiary consumer. It's a never-ending cycle of eating and being eaten. Finally, we have the decomposers, nature's cleanup crew. They break down dead or decaying organisms, returning essential nutrients back into the environment. Picture the mushrooms sprouting on a fallen log, or the earthworms wriggling through the soil. They are decomposers, breaking down organic matter and recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. So there you have it. Producers that create energy, consumers that utilize that energy, and decomposers that ensure nothing goes to waste. Each of these biotic components plays a crucial role, and their interaction is key to maintaining the ecosystem's balance. Next, we explore the non-living or abiotic components of an ecosystem. These abiotic components, though not alive, play a vital role in shaping the ecosystem and the life within it. They fall into two broad categories: physical and chemical. Let's start with the physical components. Sunlight, an indispensable part of any ecosystem, fuels photosynthesis in plants, the process that converts light energy into chemical energy. This energy is what drives the food chain, from the smallest organism to the largest predator. Water is another essential physical component. It's the lifeblood of the ecosystem, providing hydration, regulating temperature, and acting as a medium for chemical reactions. Air, composed primarily of nitrogen, oxygen, and trace amounts of other gases, is also critical. It's not just about breathing. Air plays a key role in the weather, climate, and even the spread of seeds and spores. Soil, the final physical component we'll discuss, is more than just dirt. It's a complex mixture of organic matter, minerals, and living organisms. Soil provides a habitat for countless organisms and serves as a reservoir for nutrients. Next, we venture into the chemical components. These include essential nutrients like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, which organisms need for growth and reproduction. These nutrients cycle through the ecosystem in complex pathways known as biogeochemical cycles. Temperature is another important abiotic factor. It affects everything from the rate of photosynthesis to the speed of an animal's metabolism. Every organism has a range of temperatures within which it can survive and thrive. Lastly, we have minerals. the building blocks of life. They are crucial for the formation of bones, enzymes, and hormones, and play a part in many biological processes. As you can see, each of these abiotic components is integral to the ecosystem. They shape the environment, dictate the types of organisms that can live there, and influence their behaviors. Though non-living, these abiotic components greatly influence the life cycles and behaviors of the biotic components. Now that we understand what biotic and abiotic components are, let's compare and contrast them. In the grand tapestry of our ecosystems, both biotic or living components and abiotic or non-living components play indispensable roles. They are like two halves of a whole, each contributing in unique ways to the functioning and balance of the ecosystem. But how exactly do they compare and contrast? Let's dive in. Starting with the similarities, both biotic and abiotic components are integral to the ecosystem structure and function. They are interconnected in a complex web of relationships. For instance, plants, a biotic component, need sunlight, an abiotic component, for photosynthesis. The oxygen produced by plants, in turn, is needed by animals for survival. Abiotic components also help shape the physical environment or habitat in which biotic components live. The temperature, rainfall, and type of soil, all abiotic components, determine the types of plants and animals that can thrive in a given area. So you see, biotic and abiotic components are like dance partners, each reacting and adapting to the other's moves to keep the rhythm of the ecosystem flowing smoothly. However, despite these similarities, biotic and abiotic components have distinct roles and characteristics. Biotic components, such as plants, animals, and microorganisms, are living or once living entities. They grow, reproduce, respond to stimuli, and have the ability to move. They are also capable of evolution, adapting to changes in their environment over generations. On the flip side, abiotic components like sunlight, water, air, soil, and minerals do not possess life. They do not grow, reproduce, or evolve. But their importance cannot be understated. They provide the essential conditions and resources that biotic components need to survive and reproduce. They set the stage, if you will, upon which the drama of life unfolds. Moreover, while biotic components often have a more direct role in the flow of energy in an ecosystem through processes like photosynthesis and respiration, abiotic components regulate this flow. They determine the rates at which these processes occur. For example, the amount of sunlight affects the rate of photosynthesis, while temperature influences the rate of respiration. So in essence, while biotic components are the performers in the ecosystem, abiotic components are the directors, setting the stage and controlling the pace of the performance. In conclusion, biotic and abiotic components, though different in nature, are like two sides of the same coin. They are interconnected, each playing a crucial role in the functioning of the ecosystem. They may be different in their characteristics and roles, but they are equally essential, each contributing to the survival, growth, and evolution of our diverse and dynamic ecosystems. While different in nature, both biotic and abiotic components are equally essential for the survival and functioning of an ecosystem. To conclude, let's summarize the key points we've discussed. The ecosystem is a delicate balance of living or biotic components and non-living or abiotic components. The biotic components include all the organisms in an ecosystem, from the largest mammals to the smallest bacteria. They interact with each other and the environment, participating in various roles such as producers, consumers, and decomposers. The abiotic components, on the other hand, are the non-living elements such as sunlight, temperature, water, and minerals. These elements provide the essential conditions and resources needed for life. They set the stage, so to speak, on which the drama of life unfolds. The interplay between these two types of components is what makes an ecosystem tick. The biotic components rely on the abiotic components for survival. For instance, Plants need sunlight, water, and minerals to grow and thrive. Similarly, the abiotic components are influenced by the biotic components. For example, plants can modify the quality of soil and the level of certain gases in the atmosphere. Understanding these interactions is crucial for our environmental conservation efforts. By knowing how each component affects the other, we can make more informed decisions about how to protect our ecosystems. For instance, if we know that a certain species of plant improves soil quality, we might want to ensure its survival. Or if we understand that high temperatures can cause certain organisms to die off, we might want to find ways to mitigate climate change. In the end, it all comes down to balance. The ecosystem is a complex web of interdependencies, and each component, whether living or non-living, plays a crucial role in maintaining this delicate equilibrium. It's like a domino effect. If one piece falls, it could trigger a chain reaction that affects the entire system. Remember, every component in an ecosystem, whether living or non-living, plays a significant role, and every action we take can impact this delicate balance.